Hey, what's going on, people? Welcome back to Football Therapy with me, your host, Jan. I hope you're doing well, friends. I really do hope that. Back in the office, welcome back to Chelsea News. A big sensational striker special. I'm on edge. I'm jittery because my kitten, Mia, she's all over the gaff. Welcome to Mia Bingo. How many minutes in will I kick the cat out? You decide. Today we're talking about the sensational goal-scoring machine, Victor Osimhen, the Nigerian centre-forward. How old is this guy again? He is 24 years old. He is a centre-forward, a proper centre-forward, and he's right-footed. And he's on top of the world playing for Napoli. Chelsea were linked to Osimhen before. I think he was playing for Lille. Yes, he was playing for Lille. We were linked for him. He didn't have an explosive season like he is now. Who's to say, wherever he goes next, he will continue to score loads of goals? I don't know. Do you know? I don't. And he's a Chelsea fan, right? Certainly, he's been pictured in a Chelsea shirt as a youngster. And, that always makes you feel good until Chelsea do an announcement video of, a Romelu Lukaku style. Yes, I've always been a Chelsea fan. It's an honour to come to this stadium. Although, a good example of that would be, and one that I genuinely I'm happy about and agree with, is Wesley Fofana. Hey, Mia, come here. It's Wesley Fofana, because he is clearly a Chelsea fan. Pictures of him in a Chelsea shirt when he was little. His mate sort of leaking the transfer before it even completed, saying you'd always wanted it. And, all right, Mia Bingo is over. Here she is, meow, 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 chewing the cables. So it does work, even if the Romelu Lukaku scenario with him coming in and, talking that video surfacing again from Anderlecht when he's a teenager. One day I'm going to play in the stadium. Romelu Lukaku, the Chelsea fan. Sometimes it can mean something. And Wesley Fofana is a good example of that. Just like they've made it and they're going to give everything for the badge. Now, is Victor Osimhen, who, by the way, is an absolute machine at the moment, is he a Chelsea fan? You'd have to ask him. Am I going to reference that picture shamelessly to people and friends when I speak on my WhatsApp groups with friends? Yes, indeed. Of course I will. That's just how football fandom works, and banter with your friends. Osimhen plays for Napoli, of course, on the summit of Serie A. Definitely going to win the Scudetto and the title this season. Strolling away with it. Meandering to the title. It's just too easy for them. They score loads of goals. They're very, very exciting. And I think they're probably being, underrated a little bit in the Champions League. People are talking about, the heavyweight favourites in the Champions League and maybe all on our side of the draw, whether it's Bayern, City, maybe not us so much, but, Napoli, never say never. But this season, in the league, in Serie A, he scored 21 goals in 1,900 minutes. And he's registered 4 assists to boot. Good expression there, and very appropriate indeed. So 25 goal involvements in 1,900 minutes is quite frankly sensational. Although, common misconception, people always go, oh yeah, that's amazing too, because Serie A, people don't score many goals. Yeah, because people are just programmed to remember the days where you'd end a season as top scorer with 10, 12 goals. No, Serie A, it's Italian football, there's lots of goals being scored now. It's like, it's La Liga, where the top goal scorer is 15 goals, like Robert Lewandowski. And I don't even know how many, I don't think the Bundesliga, I don't think there's that many top goal scorers. Italy's where it's at now for loads of goals, man. So, how times have changed. But yeah, very, very good indeed. He's also got 4 goals in the Champions League in 4 appearances, which is obviously excellent, the highest level you could convert at. And, of course, he's being linked to Chelsea. Now, by the way, I've forgotten to ask, so if you've made it to 4 minutes in the video here, thank you for joining me. Maybe you do love me, really. Consider dropping a like on the video and subscribe. Should you want to do so, I recommend you hit that sweet, sweet bell, baby. A little transition screen there for you. I'm in an existential footballing crisis. I don't know where I am anymore, who I am anymore. As a Chelsea fan, what I want anymore. Well, I want us to win, and I want consistency, It's like the Maslow hierarchy of needs. For those of you who know what that is, it's like the basic instinct, primal needs of a person, but we'll talk about football here, is the basic is players applying themselves and trying. That's like the food and sleep. I don't know how I'm going to do this. Like, where's reproduction? How's that work? But the one at the very top is winning. You know, and that's the smallest, that's the least basic, because you can't all feel entitled to win. I want to win, though. Chelsea is a big club. We're used to winning. It's part of our vibes. It's part of our brand. And we need... I keep going back over myself saying, look, this is not the answer, a big striker. You know, it didn't work with Lukaku, and it's, you know, it doesn't necessarily make your team better if you funnel goals through more than one person. Of course, Haaland is absolutely eating everyone alive and does make City better, but how much better does he make City? You know, this isn't the best City side we've seen in recent years, despite having an absolute beast up front just eating your children. You know, he's eating your children. No one's stopping him. You know, it's terrible. Now, is Osimhen, would he even be, you know, does he have the capacity to just, after a good season at Napoli, just touch down in the Premier League and start scoring loads of goals? Maybe. Lukaku was scoring loads and loads of goals in Serie A, loads of goals. And not only that, he had already scored over 100 Premier League goals. So there's that. What's the difference, though? Well, first of all, we signed Lukaku when he was 28-ish. I think he was 28. Osimhen is 24, so he's a lot younger. Personality-wise, and in terms of their psychological profile, you'd have to assume they'd be different. I mean, I don't know much about Osimhen, except he played in Liga and he plays in Serie A, Nigerian international, and he's a striker, and he scores a lot of goals at the moment. But what I do know is odds are, I'd bet my bottom dollar that dude isn't going to friggin' get Sky Italia around to do an interview halfway through the season because he's unhappy with Graham Potter or indeed whoever is managing Chelsea at the time. So I keep flip-flopping. I keep flip-flopping on the idea of, oh, you don't need a centre-forward to just score the goals. You need it around the team. You just need someone up there who can play between the lines and attacking mid. A false nine, if you will. And the truth of the no goal scoring is a collective confidence failure. I'll give you a PowerPoint presentation that I truly believe that I'm like into. That I'm like, yeah, this is the deal. But then again, I get down the pub, I have a full glass of beer, and I get reduced to the proper football man mentality, you know? And I think, right, when was Chelsea good? And I looked at Chelsea when we won the league, and, you know, that starting 11. And I didn't have my nuts blown off. Obviously we had Kante, but, Matic isn't the most... he was very good at what points for Chelsea. He wasn't exotic. As Piliqueta and David Luiz and, Gary Cahill, that isn't a Galactico back three. No, it isn't. There's not John Terry's, Thiago Silva's, prime Virgil van Dijk's, Sergio Ramos's. There's none of that. It's a back three of Azpilicueta, who's not really, he's not a centre-back. David Luiz, who's just vibes at the best of times. Very talented vibes. And yes, he played on one leg in the back two in Munich, and yes, great back then. But this point in his career... And Gary Cahill, and yes, Chelsea legend, but these are not exotic Galactico players. I don't know why I'm talking about centre-backs too much. But, Victor Moses at right wing-back. Before and after that, Premier League winning season, what's Victor Moses doing? Not much. And then, of course... Willian and Pedro, good players. Not Galactico elite super, but good. They won't go down as Premier League greats, will they? They'll go down as Premier League great players. If that makes sense. So obviously you got Eden Hazard, you got N'Golo Kante, you got Thibaut Courtois on goal, and obviously we could talk about goalkeeper a lot. We have done recently, and we will again, but not right now. And I was looking at this lineup, being all proper football man with a pint of beer. And I was like, Diego Costa, we need a guy up front that just believes in themselves. Costa never scored silly goals. He scored a couple of seasons. He scored 20 in the league. The 2 seasons we won the Premier League. I believe it was 20 and 20, which is great, by the way. Perfect. You scored 20 league goals, bang. Don't look at Haaland. Don't look at the baby eater. Don't worry about him. Don't look at him. Look at me. 20 goals, bellissimo. And even in the tragic year in between when we finished 10th, he still got 16 league goals, won 6 when Hazard got 4. And, I think I'm starting to think more and more he's criminally underrated, especially with the ghost of Diego Costa that's floating around Wolves at the moment. So I'm flip-flopping, and I'm going back and forth, and I'm thinking, maybe we do just need that guy. And I love Kai Havertz. I think he's such a talented technical footballer. There's elements of him that Diego Costa will never have. But at the same time, there's just a ruthless bastard up front. There's just... the amount of points individually that Diego Costa won Chelsea is profound. That's what we're missing. That's the difference. These little, the extra goal against Everton last minute that we would have got, that's 3 points won by an individual, a striker, lashed in. All these other draws, these 1-1s and these 0-0s. And indeed, saving a point in losses. Difference makers. There'll be games when you play better than the opposition, when you're set up tactically better than the opposition to exploit them by, your management team set you up well, your team's in good form, your chemistry, you have a good day. You're just better than them. You'll win a game 3 goals or 4 goals more than them. Then that's fine. That's just the team better. But in these moments of high contested times, you either need a bit of brilliance from a creative player, like someone who could do that consistently, like Hazard, which is unique, or you just need someone near to the goal all the time that is just going to score, every other game or more. That's what you want. So I'm gonna go back on my football hipster. It's all systemic. We need to use the wing backs, false nines, as playing between the lines, cutbacks, just scoring goals, Guardiola style. Maybe that will work, but I feel I've just been hurt. I've been hurt so many times by strikers as a Chelsea fan. So maybe this is why it's so hard to just turn to this. But I'm ready. I'm ready for a number 9. Now, I'm not saying Chelsea are going to sign Victor Osimhen. Chelsea have been heavily linked in the media, so this is kind of a Chelsea news video. It's more of a genuine football therapy episode of me giving myself therapy, and hopefully you guys therapy too. I'm really interested in learning the collective opinion here about the conventional high-scoring number 9. Down in the comments, how do you feel? Do you feel like me, often torn, flip-flopping between just wanting a big conventional number 9 to lash him away, or do you want loads of free-flowing attacking players to play between the lines, like we've seen the best Man City and the best Liverpool in this recent Premier League climate? Those Premier League winning sides when they weren't playing with a striker. Firmino's a false 9. Mane and Salah would always rotate and go in the middle. The amount of false 9s we saw with Guardiola when he wasn't using Aguero. Jesus would be wide or drop deep. He'd play Sterling in the middle, and etc. etc. Sometimes even KDB is a false 9. What do you think? And if not Victor Osimhen, whom can save the Chelsea? Let me know. Please comment down below. I thank you for liking and subscribing to this video on my YouTube channel. It's very kind of you, and I appreciate all your love and support. And I'm here all week. And actually, I'm here every day. Turn the bell on. All right, peace.